What I'm about to share with you in this video could change your life. I'm about to give you 5 questions and walk you through them so you can answer them and take the expertise and experiences in your mind and turn it into a 100K business online. So where this came about was literally just yesterday. Yesterday, a client traveled to Manchester, where I live, to see me and paid thousands to be able to sit with me and go through what I'm about to give you for free and do this with her together. We sat down in my office and we created an entire offer for a kind of community slash coaching slash education program that we're going to be creating together from the experience and the expertise that she already had in her mind. We sat down for 3 hours, mapped it all out, did it with her, and now we're about to actually work on building this and growing this to 10K months plus. I've taken the 5 core questions that we needed to answer together and I've put them into this video for you, and I'm going to run you through them so you can do it for free. So this might end up being a bit of a longer video, but this is truly going to be proper value on YouTube. I'm even almost like half tempted not to do it because I feel like it might be too valuable, and people that have paid thousands for this kind of stuff might get annoyed at me, but we're going to do it. So this is turning your skill sets and expertise into a 100K business. By the way, if you don't know who I am Louis. I am the owner of the Aligned Creator, which is a coaching and consulting business where I help people turn their skills and experiences and services into a creator business. I don't know what that was. Anyway, into a creator business. The way that I talk about creator business is a coaching slash consulting slash education business where there's course content, there's coaching, there's all these kind of things mixed into one, where we, the creators, can create value and we get paid for it. Online most of the time. So let's get stuck into everything. There's 5 big questions that you need to answer that I'm going to run you through every single angle of these questions, every single thought process and everything else. So you can literally go through this and take it for yourself. There's a Google document, and I'm even going to link the Google document down below so you can take it. No opt-in required, no email required. Go down and you'll be able to run through this yourself. So let's get into things. Okay, so we got 5 things to go through. And by the way, this is going to be really, really beneficial for you, even if you're already a coach or consultant, because we are going to go through some in-depth things in here that are a game changer for everything that you're already doing. So we've got 5 big kind of subjects to talk about today. Number 1 is choosing the title market. So this is a huge concept that so many people get wrong. When you get this wrong, you will be playing an uphill battle in business forever. And many people go out of business because they do not understand this. Then we're going to be mapping out your indoctrination ladder. The indoctrination ladder is, I was questioning putting this in or not because it is a very, very, very powerful marketing technique. Potentially, you might even call it a manipulation technique. But as long as it's used for good, the manipulation is also used for good, if you get what I mean. But this is going to be an eye-opener and an absolute game changer for your marketing and everything else. Then we're going to decide upon a delivery mechanism. How are we actually going to deliver this thing, turning your skill set into an offer? How are we going to deliver it? Then we're going to actually craft it into an offer. The offer is the absolute most important thing for you as a coach or consultant or a creator of any kind. It is the thing that you sell. And I don't even know what level this stops at, but from any level that I've ever hit, like, the offer is really the only thing that matters. Everything else just kind of comes off of that. I'm sure once it's like huge big business, like there's more important things team-wise and everything else, like once it's huge. But for the level that I'm at, for the level that you're at, for the level that anyone really watching this is going to be at, like, offer is everything. And then finally, we're going to put in constraints. This is a little cheeky extra one that I think is going to be really, really useful as you get into thinking in this way. This is really, really helpful. So let's start with number 1, choosing your tide of the market. So this is honestly one of the most game-changing um, concepts that you can understand when it comes to business as a whole, which is the tide of the market. I got this wrong. I did not understand this concept for and it ended up with 2 years or 2.5 years of my business just going downhill, because I wasn't listening to the tide of the market, and my business was set up against the tide of the market. So the tide of the market is 3 things, right? Person and problem on one side, desired state on the other, and then third and final is your offer, right? So I'm going to run you through these 3 things. In step 1, you are going to define your tide of the market. You're going to choose that, and then you're going to understand the role of your offer in the entire tide of the market. So on one side, we've got person and problem. That means, who is it that we're going to serve, and what problem are they facing? Because any offer that we ever put out is going to be alleviating some sort of problem and some sort of pain. If there's no problem or pain there, we can't really make money there, right? So who's the person and what problem are they currently facing? And on the other side, we've got the desired state. That means for this person with this problem, which kind of makes up your market, for this market, what's their desired state? And here's the really, really important thing when you define this for yourself. This desired state wants to have nothing to do with you. That means this desired state wants to exist even if you were never born, right? This desired state wants to be something that they would already be going for even if they had never met you. This desired state wants to be something that they're already looking to actually achieve before you. They are already looking for solutions to actually get to, right? That is the tide of the market. There is a person, a problem on one side, and a desired state. The tide of the market exists before you exist. And that's so important to understand. If we try and do this any other way, which is we try and create a market, or we try and take these person and problem and take them somewhere else that they don't necessarily already want to go without you existing, and we're trying to what would the word be? Persuade them to want to go somewhere else, you are going to be fighting an uphill battle forever. So we must define a tide of the market that actually exists. So then we come up with your offer, which acts as the best possible vehicle to get them from where they are to where they already want to be. So let me give you a little example of this, because I think the example is really important to visualize this. So let's say you were a sleep coach, and the person and the problem on this side was entrepreneurs who want to build their business, but it's not growing. The amateur sleep coach that's going to have a very hard time selling his service is going to come along to these entrepreneurs who have the problem of trying to build their business, but it's not growing. And they would say, guys, you just need sleep. Let me help you sleep better. It will feel good. More sleep is better. They don't care, because their desired state is more money and business growth, right? That's where they're going. That's where they're already looking for solutions. So when someone comes over and tries to persuade them to want something different, it doesn't work. Here's how that same sleep coach with the same offer can do better by articulating it differently. He comes to the entrepreneur who wants to build their business, but it's not growing. This entrepreneur, their desired state is to make more money and to grow their business. And he says to them, the reason that your business is not growing is not because you haven't got the right business mentor, not because you haven't got the right strategy. It's because your energy is holding you back from thinking at the level that you need to think at and operating at the level that you need to operate at. The key ingredient to actually have the energy to think and operate on the level that you need to be at is sleep. When we can optimize your sleep, we can double your energy and your cognitive processes so that you can build your business and make more money. So do you see the difference in articulation there? The amateur sleep coach was trying to get them to want a new desired state, a new desired outcome, which was, want sleep instead. The professional sleep coach who is going to make a lot of money with his offer, same thing, same deliverables, but articulated it in the way to become the best vehicle to get them where they already wanted to go anyway. When you can define the tide of the market that already exists, and you can understand the role of your offer as the vehicle to take them there, life becomes 10 times easier, right? So the first step for you is define your tide of the market and make sure that it exists. Now, this is really useful as well, because when we come up with your offer, when we come up with your how we're going to articulate it and everything, this vehicle, right? One of the most important things of this offer is to make sure that it actually has some unique angle and reason why they would go for you and no one else. Because this is the problem that most coaches face, right? Every single coach looks exactly the same, right? They look exactly the same. They're selling the exact same thing, and they're selling it for the exact same price most of the time. And they're doing the exact same things, and they're saying the exact same things. So what happens? Everyone just goes with who they know more or who they like more, and no one really rises to the top and flies past, right? So when I help people create offers, we make sure that there is always a unique angle, more so than just who you are. There's always a unique angle and a reason why they need to choose that offer over anyone else's, right? And this is all about making a unique vehicle that gets them to their desired state better than anyone else's. And that's what we're about to go through next. So when we start to actually create this offer, right, we're going to be going through a process of iteration, because the offer is never perfect straight away. We're going to go through a process of iteration and optimization and slowly making it better. As we do that, we also use the tide of the market because we want to have the mind of a scientist. So how a scientist thinks is in experiments, right? And how do we do experiments? We have constants and we have variables. Everything stays the same in a science experiment and one thing changes, okay? So as we actually roll out your offer and put it into the market and get feedback, we want to do experiments so we can continue to iterate your offer and make it better. The way that we do that is we need to define the tide of the market that we've got, and we need to understand that person and problem is a constant. We keep that the same. Desired state is a constant. We keep that the same. And the offer is the thing that is the variable that we change and we can optimize and we can make better, right? When we understand that, we can consistently shift and change and optimize our offer and constantly see what is working. So first step, define your person and problem on one side and desired state on the other side, and understand the role of your offer, right? Your offer is pretty much, there's much more to it, but it's going to be your skill set, and understand that a skill set alone is not an offer. Mindset coaches make this problem all the time. Mindset coaches are always saying, or they're trying to sell mindset coaching. So they're trying to sell their skill set. Most people don't understand how that skill set is going to save their or help their life, right? So the skill set alone is never going to be enough to actually be bought. We need to be able to apply it to things, okay? So choose your tide of the market, and then we're going to be going into step 2, which is the indoctrination ladder. So before we get into the indoctrination ladder, I want to make you aware of one more thing. As I said, the offer, one of the most important things that I believe an offer needs to be is it needs to have a unique angle, a reason why people would choose you over anyone else. If we don't have a unique angle, you're just fighting the game of force. You're just competing by having to do more than the next person and having to be there and having to try and make people like you more than the next person, right? Which is exhausting. We want to compete through creativity. We want to compete through having the most creative and useful solution for our market, so that we don't have to put too much force in, but we are just better. We are just better for the market, so we rise to the top, right? With less inputs, we can rise to the top. And this is where the indoctrination ladder comes in, so we can actually articulate ourselves best and we can actually position ourselves best, right? So the indoctrination ladder is going to be how we can actually turn your offer into something that's unique and a reason why people want to actually work with you over anyone else. So mapping out your indoctrination ladder. Now, what I'm about to show you here is it's manipulation. And as I said at the start of this, make sure that you're not using this for evil, and obviously you're probably not going to be doing anything evil, but what I mean is this can be done truthfully, or this can be done as blatant lies. Either way, it's really, really effective. All I ask is do this truthfully. And this is all manipulation. Marketing is manipulation, but manipulate people in the right way. Manipulate people where they would like to actually go and help them, please. Because what I'm about to show you is powerful. So this is the indoctrination ladder, right? It's a ladder because people walk up these steps. It's a ladder because as people walk up these steps of your indoctrination ladder, they're walking away from the competition. And that's really, really important. So what I'm going to do to explain this is, first of all, I'm going to explain the indoctrination ladder. Then I'm going to give you an example. And then I'm going to show you the importance of this. And then you can start thinking about your own. So what actually is this? I'll run you through this in the frame of a fitness prospect, right? So because fitness is simple, everyone kind of understands like fitness terminology and stuff. So we'll use a fitness prospect and their levels of indoctrination here. So with each step, we kind of get a smaller percentage of the market, right? So if you were a fitness coach, the pain, or any coach, the pain aware section of your market is pretty much 100% of your addressable market. Because if someone hasn't got any pain or they're not aware of any pain, then they're not really a lead at all. They're not really a potential client at all because they haven't got any pain to solve, right? And there's no point trying to market to people without any pain there to actually solve and trying to make them. We may as well just go for the people that already have the pain, right? So it starts at pain aware, and this is pretty much 100% of your market. The pain is, what are they aware of that is painful to them, that they do not want, that is undesirable in their life, that they want to change. That is the pain. The pain isn't the problem. The problem is what's the core of this pain that's actually causing it. The pain is just, what are they aware of? So it's usually like the surface level thing that they don't like. So if you were a fitness coach that helps people with fat loss, this would probably be being too fat. Having too much body fat would be the pain. Simple. And that's like 100% of your audience. Then we go up. Next is the problem. So what is the problem that is holding them in this place of pain? So if the pain is that they are too fat, what's the problem? Why are they too fat, right? This is where your marketing comes in and your angle comes in, and we can start to market people a problem, because this is huge what I'm about to say, right? Marketing is not selling the solution, but it's always selling the problem first. If we can sell someone on the fact that they have a certain problem, we can sell them on the solution. Most of marketing is selling people on, here's the problem, so then they buy our solution, right? So we are going to decide on what the problem is that they're going to be, that we're going to tell them that they have. This is why I say make sure that it's true. Otherwise, I don't think it's very ethical. And then next is the solution. So once we have indoctrinated them with the problem that they have, or that we're diagnosing them with, we then indoctrinate them with our specific solution, and then we show them to our specific product, right? So let me give you an example of this. Well, actually, let me give you an example of a bad one, right? Most people skip out this problem aware piece and they just go straight to the solution, and the solution's the same as everyone else. So let me show you a bad fitness offer versus a good fitness offer in terms of the indoctrination ladder. The bad one is this. You're overweight. My solution is my online coaching, where we're going to give you nutrition plan and training plan and accountability, and you're going to lose the weight. So that's pretty standard, right? The problem with that is there's no uniqueness in this at all. And what you've just told them, your offer, your articulation of it, sounds the same as everybody else's. They've probably tried that stuff before, and they probably don't think it works because they've tried it before and it hasn't worked, right? So they're not going to listen to you very much. Here's an example of a well thought out indoctrination ladder in a fitness example. So let's say that the person and the problem for this is men over 40 who are overweight, okay? So their pain is they are overweight and they're not liking how they look, okay? Simple. We then indoctrinate them with, this is the real problem. So here's how we say this. Men over 40, I know that you've tried everything to get into shape. You've tried all of the diets. You've tried training loads. You've tried getting personal trainers. You've tried getting online coaches, but you only ever feel worse. It just feels like you're fighting an uphill battle, and the weight just seems to be piling on. Let me tell you the real problem. The real problem that these 22-year-old Instagram fitness influencers do not understand, because they are not where you are. The problem is, now that you're getting on a little bit, your hormones are the things that are holding you back from being able to get into shape. So when you're training like these 20-year-olds, or training like you were when you were 20, you're only making this situation worse, and you're only actually putting on more weight because of what you're doing. So the real problem is not that you're not training hard. It's not that you're not sticking to it. It's that you're not focusing on changing or improving your hormones to be able to lose weight. So the solution is you need to work with a hormone specialist, a male hormone specialist, to be able to get your testosterone back to where it needs to be naturally, so the weight can start flying off again. And this is exactly what we do inside my 90-day testosterone blueprint. Do you see how we can now indoctrinate them to the point where, and this is what indoctrination means, right? In this instance, to the point where they would only ever work with us and no one else now, because we've indoctrinated them on the problem that they've got. We've then indoctrinated them on the solution that they need. And now, as they've walked up our indoctrination ladder, they're not going to want to work with anyone else, because you're the only person that's talking about this stuff in this way, or you're one of the very few. And then it's very, very easy to get them to buy our product, to be able to charge more, to be able to make easier sales, because we're taking them up and away from the market, up and away from the competition, up our indoctrination ladder, so they have to work with us, right? That is the unique part. So think about this for yourself. We've now got your person and problem built around your skill set, built around your expertise. Now start to think, what is the pain that they're already aware of, right? And then with your unique angle that you want to take on things, because if you're doing it the same as everyone else, it's not going to do too well. With your unique angle, what is the specific problem for you as the expert, you as the person with the skill set? What is the specific problem that's actually holding them back here, right? You take that, and then what is your unique solution? And then you sell them on the product, right? So map this out for yourself as well. What is the pain that they are aware of? What is the problem that you will sell them on? What is the solution? And then what is your unique solution, which is the product? So really important here, right? They must be aware of the pain. And the problem is the thing that you are going to sell them on. And it's a lot easier to have a specific problem if you have a specific person. So, if they're let's say it's fitness again, and they're 9-to-5ers. Well, if they're 9-to-5ers, they've got you can sell them on the fact that the problem is everything else that you're trying to do and you're following and you're reading isn't built for people with a 9-to-5 job. It's built for these fitness influencers who have all the time in the world to train. You need a specific solution designed for the 9-to-5er because X, Y, and Z, and you back it up with facts, right? So think about this for yourself. It's because we want messaging that can take them away from the competition and into your philosophies and into your indoctrination ladder. So now we've got the person and problem, and we've started to map out what is unique about you, which is the indoctrination ladder. Next, we're going to decide upon a delivery mechanism. This is a pretty simple one. So do you want to do done for you, one-to-one group, course, whatever it's going to be? Okay. There's a couple of things to choose from here, and there's some considerations as well. We're not going to go too deep into this because this could be a whole training on its own. But you can do things where you tell them what to do and they go and do it, and you do it on a one-to-one level. You can do things where you have a community or a group and you teach them everything in a one-to-many level. You can do things as a course and you just create the content and they can go through it. I would definitely recommend, though, even if you do this, that there's a little bit of coaching, even if it's group coaching alongside that as well. Or you can take away all of that and you can literally just do it for them. So you can take it to as close as done for you as humanly possible, right? So you can pretty much do all of these, even if you've got like a specific solution and all of this is set up, you can kind of do it in all of these different ways. And that's kind of what we do with a multi-tier offer, right? So the Aligned Creators, we create something called a multi-tier offer. So you have one offer with one promise, one process, but we have multiple ways to actually deliver it, right? So I'll tell you how mine goes, right? So I've got the lowest tier of my core offer where they have access to all my ideas but it's more of a do-it-yourself style program where there's less input from me and there's less access to me. Then there's like the middle tier where they pay double the price and they have all access to my ideas again, but they have access to me personally to help them implement the ideas as well in group coaching sessions and WhatsApp. And then double the price of that again, there is most access where they have access to everything below, but they also have access to me one-on-one on calls, as many as they need, so we can pretty much as close to build it together as possible to be able to actually work together and get the result, right? So there's all these different ways to do it. It's the same process. It's the same ideas. It's just different levels of access. You can do this too, right? But here's some delivery considerations. If you are newer, if you have less experience, if you have less trust in the market, also, that's on one hand. Also, if you're working with people that are less trustworthy, that are more busy and everything else, selling things down on this side that require more of them, such as the group thing, the course thing, and everything else, is going to be harder. So starting on the higher levels, such as one-to-one or done for you, is going to be easier for them to trust that they can get the result as well, and to start to sell this and start to gain some traction. So think about how you want to do it. The simplest one is to start one-to-one. You don't have to build out any infrastructure. You just have to sell your time. And then as you get better at delivering this product, delivering this offer, delivering this process, you can start to then productize the journey and then create a group, create a course and stuff like that. Fourth is craft your offer. As I said, the offer is the most important thing. So inside the Align Creator, we create 12-month plus offers where we have big transformational outcomes that we can take people through over 12 months. But we always break it down into a core offer first. So the core offer is the first 6 to 12 weeks that gets them out of their immediate pain. Most of the time, the people that we're going to be serving are going to be in some sort of immediate pain, and we want to sell them on the transaction to get them out of that, right? So the first 6 to 12 weeks is going to be your core offer, and that's what we're going to be mapping out here. That's easiest, and then we can continue to extend our work with them onwards afterwards, see what they need, see once we've solved one problem, what's the next problem, continue to build on that, and eventually that ends up being a way longer program, and you can start to, again, productize that. But let's start with the first 12 weeks. It's much easier. Choose between 6 to 12 weeks, completely up to you. And then we need two things. First of all, we need the promise, then we need the process, and then we need the price. So first of all, we have the promise. So now you already know most of this stuff anyway, right? You know who you're serving, you know where they're already going, you know that your offer is the vehicle, you know that the indoctrination ladder and the way that you're making yourself unique, you know how you're going to deliver it. So let's talk about the promise. The promise is going to be the what, the way, and the why. So what is it that you actually do? Make sure that this is tangible and specific. How do you do it? And the way is going to be able to be different to other people. And then the why is going to be why, right? The why allows you to share some values and gives them a glimpse into the possible future that they could actually achieve through going through this. So let me give you an example, a business coaching one and then a fitness coaching one. I help coaches start earning 10K per month recurring revenue. So this is the what, very specific numbers, right? On both of these. The way, with just one email a day and a paid community. So this is the way. So then they would choose me over someone else if they like that way. Why? So they can travel the world and build their business in 3 hours a day, right? Next, what way, why? I help busy dads lose 20 pounds in 90 days without needing to join the gym or miss family dinner, so he can inspire his family and be the present father he knows he can be, right? So think about that for yourself and really make sure that you focus on the first 6 to 12 weeks and have a specific and tangible promise that can be tracked and quantified. The most important, it doesn't even necessarily need to be tracked and quantified, but it needs to actually make a difference in real life. So don't say we're going to skyrocket your confidence or we're going to supercharge your energy. None of that shit actually means anything. No one's going to buy it. Abstraction is the killer of conversion when it comes to your offer. Make sure it is specific, right? So give them numbers. Next is the process. So once you come up with your promise, which is here's exactly what we're going to do, make it simple, make it understandable. And the way, of course, is like, how do you do it over other people? So remember here we said about the testosterone one or the hormone one. The problem was the hormones and the solution was the 90-day blueprint, testosterone blueprint. Well, down here, I help men over 40 finally lose 2 stone in the next 90 days through optimizing their hormones so they can lose weight effortlessly in just 3 hours a week. That's the way, the why for that one, right? Can you see how that actually stands out versus someone else, another fitness coach is saying, I hope you lose 20 pounds in 90 days, and it just sounds the exact same. So the process. So this is how, right? So once you've got the what, the way, and the why, the process is the how. If it's 12 weeks, break it down to, for example, 3 phases. What are the phases? Think about their biggest problems. Focus on solving those problems over 3 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and talk about what unique mechanisms have you got for each one. So if you've got a unique process overall, what is the unique mechanisms that you're going to help them with? So the unique things that you're going to actually give them or run them through, framework, systems, and things like that, to be able to solve their 3 biggest problems across the 12 weeks so they finally get to the result. Either way, however you do this, we're not going too deep into this, but just make sure that you have 3 phases that are going to take them from point A to point B. And finally, price. What do they pay? The only thing to understand with pricing is understand what you're pricing for. Okay, so if you are on the newer side, you don't really need to be pricing to make as much money as humanly possible. You probably want to be pricing for velocity. You probably want to be pricing for experience, for getting people in, and to get a lot of people in so the wheels are in motion and you're getting experience, right? So just think about that with every angle of the price. The payment plan itself, what terms are they going to be paying with? Are they going to be locked in for a commitment, or is it going to not be a lock-in commitment? For how frequently they pay, is it weekly, is it monthly, is it quarterly? And then the price itself, right? All of those things, think about what are you pricing for? Because obviously, if there's less of a commitment, if it's smaller price in terms like they pay weekly and it's not too high, it's going to be much easier to get a yes. But of course, you're not going to be paid much and you're going to be getting the worst end of the deal. So think about that in relation to what you are pricing for. Most people at the start of their journey here, I prefer them to price for velocity, make it very easy for the prospect to say yes, so we can get some experience and we can get traction in our offer. And then finally, so now we've got your offer, we've got your delivery mechanisms, we've got the uniqueness of it, and we know who we're serving. Final thing is putting it into constraints. This is now thinking a little bit further ahead, but I really like people to do this from the very beginning, which is this. You want to define how you want to work, and you want to define what you refuse to do, because constraints can promote creativity, and without constraints in your business, you will become a slave to your business. I've seen this happen many, many times, right? And I've done this myself where I had no constraints. I wanted to build it by whatever means necessary. And the business just took over my life because I didn't put anything in place to constrain it. So think about this for yourself. How do you want to work? What do you refuse to do? And how do you want to do the stuff that you want to do? Think about this so you can build as you mean to go on. So some of mine, I only do one-to-one calls 2 times per week. Another one, I don't do sales calls. I just sell in the DMs, right? These are constraints that I've placed in my business. So I run it the way that I want to, even if sometimes it might mean that I don't make a sale, or or someone leaves or something like this. These are the constraints that I'm living by. So I build a business that serves me and serves my life. So think about that for yourself. Once you've thought about all of this and you're ready to get into action, how do you want to work and what do you refuse to do? There are your 5 questions. As I said, I'm going to put this in the description below. So if you have any, well, go below and you can grab it. You don't have to opt in or anything. If you want to think about scaling this idea, go here and you will get a free 24-minute video going through all of the ideas that I use inside the Align Creator to actually grow these businesses to 10 to 20K per month. If you sign up through here as well, you'll start to get daily emails from me as well, which are really, really good. So guys, hope that was useful. I've just shared thousands of pounds worth of knowledge with you here, tens of thousands, and it can make you even more than that. So I would really, really appreciate a like, subscribe, a comment, whatever. Haven't got many subscribers, so and I'm racing one of my friends to 1,000 subscribers, and there's lunch on the line, so I don't want to be losing. So a subscribe would help as well. Cool guys, hope this helped.